All right, gang, let's talk about MindTap and the first assignment that you've got to do in Python. So once you click the link to executing code in Python in Unit 1 in the homework section, it'll take you to this page. Now, we're assuming you've already registered MindTap. Now that we're in MindTap, you've got navigation, all kinds of resources over here on the right. This blue book, that's the full textbook in digital form, searchable, great resource. Over here to the left, we can go ahead and start the assignment now. And when the assignment starts up, we've got three sections. On the left are the directions. Now the directions, they try to be very explicit about what they want. And all too often we overthink it. Sometimes it's far more simple than we would think it really needs to be. The center part is our program itself. It's Python code. Here's a call to the print function, and we pass it this string of characters. I'm learning how to program. It's in double quotation marks. That makes it a string literal constant. It does not change. It will get printed out literally exactly as you see it. To the right, this is our window that resembles a command prompt interface so that we can interact with the code. Input and output both take place in this black area to the right. Now up here in the middle, we've got this cog. And this cog has some functionality in it. And if I click it, it expands it. I can download what I've got, get a little help with the project. I can share it out. I can change the theme if I have problems seeing it. The important thing right here, and they say danger area, reset project. What that means, they provided us one line of code. Later on, they may provide us 40 lines of code. Those are required lines of code in the assignment. They're integral to the evaluation of did you do it properly or not. So they use those lines of code to help them check to see did you do what you were supposed to do. If you change a variable name, if you change things in those lines that they did not direct you to do, it'll cause a problem in the evaluation of your code. If you've gone and changed things that you should not have changed, you can go here and reset the project like I'm doing now. Reset. You sure you want to do this? Wow, it just wiped out all my code. Let me go ahead and collapse the cog area. And I'm going to click that ellipsis right there. Those three little dots. Let's hit close. And it brought me right back to the starting point. Print. I'm learning how to program. So down here at the bottom, we see run code, test, and grade. Those buttons, run code, that lets you run it for you. So you can see what you're doing, what the code has done for you. The test, that checks to see how your code is going to be evaluated as it relates to the instructions. Once you've gotten where you want to be, and we'll go ahead and test it here in a second. If I run it, they say the first thing, go ahead and run it. I'm learning how to program is what we see on the right side. Literally exactly how you see it in those quotes. It says there should be no syntax errors. Syntax errors are errors in the grammar, if you will, of the programming language. They want things done a certain way. And if we don't do them the right way and how we write the code out, we'll end up with what are called syntax errors. So we see the output. Step 2, modify the program so it displays, I'm learning how to program in Python, period. I'm learning how to program. I'll put my insertion point after the M, space in, uppercase P, Y-T-H-O-N. Now I emphasize the uppercase. They're going to check for this exact string of characters. So it has to be exactly as we see it here. No deviation. This print function is a function that somebody's created. I call it by entering those 5 letters formatted exactly that way. Lowercase p, lowercase r, int. If I entered an uppercase P, currently it's blue, I turn it to an uppercase P, now it doesn't recognize it, so it's changed the coloration to a black color. So color means a lot when it comes to these interfaces. So I'll execute my code, which is run code. I'm learning how to program in Python. That's step 2. Step 3, modify the program so it prints 2 lines of output. Add a second output statement that displays "That's awesome." So I'm going to copy these first few characters, enter, come down to line 2, and I have print, open parentheses, double quotation marks. Now I like to copy text to be sure that it is exactly as they want it. So Control C, and come up here and paste it, Control V, and I'll close that print statement, the call to the print function. I'll close it with the closing parentheses. Now, let's talk about this print function. Somebody's created this functionality. I call it by name print, and in the parentheses here, I pass it some value. What I pass it is what I want that print function to print out for me. So I compare this to outsourcing. I don't have to be the person that does the printing. I just need to know somebody that prints. I need their name. I need to know how to call them. And I have to know what goes in these parentheses, or what that function requires of me, and in what form does it need to be in. At some point, we'll deal with functions that not only require arguments, they may require multiple arguments, and they may return some value back to me. This function doesn't return a value back to me. It just does a job for me, and that is take whatever I put in the parentheses and print it out to the user. Let's run the code to see what it does. I'm learning how to program in Python, period. One print function, 1 line of code. The next print function, another line of output. Print, that's awesome. Now, it appears to be what they want us to do. Let's test it to see if we did in fact do what they wanted us to do. This is Cody down here on the bottom right. Cody has evaluated my project. Your program is done being tested. I'll click Cody. 1 out of 1 test passed. Click here for details. So I'll click. My test results. 1 out of 1 test passed. And here's the test case. It passed. Let me click on this green check. It could be a red X if it failed it. There was no input. The output, they displayed what the output was. It's looking for that specific output. Let's show the details. They expected what's in blue. They found what's in green. These have to match. They have to match in many ways, not just in how we perceive them, but also in the type of data that's being displayed. So with this one, I can go ahead and close this. Our first one's done. I tested it. I got 1 out of 1. It's 100%. Let's go ahead and submit the grade. This will take your grade from MindTap and push it over into your grade book in the course. Executed file, there's the name. Current score has not been calculated. Let's go ahead and review it to see what our score will be. Our score will be 10 out of 10, 100%. Now, once you submit it, that will send your score to Blackboard. Okay. So we're all set there. You can go ahead and close this one and move on to the next.